What is up, everyone? We are officially back from Ocean City, Maryland from H2O, and it was a hell of a weekend. It was a great time. I know I didn't really finish the video series from it, but the last day we were there, footage just didn't add up and didn't make a video out of it, but it's okay. I had a great time. As you guys know, we left off working on E36. We were trying to get this down to H2O. Didn't happen, but you know what? It forced me to get a lot done on the car that I'm putting off for a really long time. So today we're gonna continue the momentum and try and get this thing on the road running well, and hopefully get it tuned pretty soon. I'm pretty excited. So a few things we need to do to button up the car. Just like any other swap, the last like 10% of it is like kind of the annoying part where you're kind of going over everything you forgot, everything you did wrong, and trying to make everything align. To start off with things that I forgot, we're gonna be doing a electric fan switch. So we have the electric fans on here. I have one right here. If you could, there you go. These actually come with clutch fans, but they're known to explode and take everything out with them, and it doesn't fit with the supercharger kit. So there's that. So what I'll be doing today is I'm gonna be making a fan switch powered by the Mega Squirt. You can get fan switches that are triggered by like a temperature probe or something. Like when your car reaches a certain temperature, it'll switch the fans on, but Mega Squirt has this feature built in, so I can get away with just using a typical 4-wire relay and going from there. Jumping right into it, I was able to scramble a 4-wire relay and a pigtail, once again from my extra 240SX wire harness. This is just a factory Nissan one, and it works pretty well. It's a 30 amp, should be plenty for one fan. And of course I have a single block fuse here. Since electric fans do draw high amps, it's always good to put a big fuse on there too. I know I do relay stuff a lot, so essentially what we have is a high power source and a high power out going to the fan, and then we have a ground in it and then a switch trigger to switch on the high power current that goes to the fan. And this is gonna be triggered by the Mega Squirt. So let's figure out what we could do with that setup right now and just make it work. I started to do a time lapse and realized I was completely unprepared, so just kind of banged it out right here. Go to the ground, this will go to the Mega Squirt, this will go to the fuse block, and then this will go to the fan. Nice and easy. So I'm gonna tape this up, make it look nice, and we're gonna throw it in the car. All right, this is good enough. So now what we have to do, and this is kind of the annoying part, is we have to figure out how to wire the trigger for this from the ECU. My plan is to use the engine harness so I don't have to like make another plug on the jumper harness. So I found a wire on the harness that's not being used. It's the AC switch. Turns the AC to turn on, and let's be real, I'm not gonna have AC with this motor. I want to have AC when I S54 swap it for now, but for now I'm gonna steal that pin. So I localized where it is, right here, and this goes right to the ECU. So I'm gonna use a digital output on the Mega Squirt. We're gonna go to the ECU pin, and off that wire we're gonna go to the trigger wire for the fan. So now this is technically attached to the engine harness. Works for me. We'll just solder this up real quick and start running some wire. Good to go. We're gonna put this big mess probably in this corner. So what's nice about this corner is, one, obviously it's kind of tucked away, and two, this is a constant power source right here, and we have a good ground, so we'll be using that for the constant power and ground. Then we could easily route our wire to the fan, and then we gotta do our trigger wire from the ECU, and we could just go kind of over the stock ECU part. She's chilling right there. We got our trigger wire going all the way over. I'm gonna tuck this in here, obviously, once I know it works, just because this is a pain in the ass to open, so just to verify. Now all I have is this one wire leading to the fan, and this is now our current that we're getting to feed the fan. So we have our power for the fan, and of course we need our ground. Of course I already made that, so I have my slip-on connector to a ground. Now if everything worked out, when I put power to this terminal, the fan should come on. Here we go. I'm always surprised when this stuff works. I mean, like, check everything a million times, but still. Sweet, that thing pulls a lot of air. So now we just have to set up the Mega Squirt, so when an engine gets to a certain temperature, it's gonna turn the fans on. So setting up the Mega Squirt was actually easier than I thought. So there's a whole option for just fan control. Of course, it asks what our output pin is, so what's gonna go to the relay. And of course, there's a million options on here, but I picked the one I chose, the digital output one. And all I have to really do is set our temperature at which the fan comes on. So I put it at 90 degrees. The reason why I put it at 90 degrees is so we can make sure it actually works before the car even gets hot, so then we don't have any issues. So I just burned it in. Now let's turn the car on and see if it works. Damn, that thing is loud. Seems like our coolant temp sensor is working, so hopefully it should kick on in about 30 seconds maybe. Come on. All right, you can kick on now. All right, well, it's not kicking on, so I'm gonna shut off and make sure I have the right digital output because it should be kicking on right now. So I figured out what the problem was. It was something stupid, of course. So I called Derek, Megasport Master, and asked him what I did wrong. And the whole thing was I was using the ECU to trigger the relay as the power source. So you need to create, you know, a circuit to trigger the relay. One side has to be ground, one side has to be power, and that will turn the relay on. Megasport operates on ground, so essentially it would complete the circuit on the ground end, not the power end. So we had to put power to the relay, and the Megasport would do the process of grounding it. And so I just had the wires backwards. So switch them around, and that works. So super easy. It's a dumb mistake, but learned my lesson. So now the fans work. So it's good news. I guess we should let this thing idle and see if it can hold temperature. What do you think?
It is a vehicle.
RJ, so my TPS isn't working, right?
That sucks.
I'm gonna tell you this story. So, I wired it correctly. I know for a fact. I just checked it a million times.
Okay.
It's not getting power to the sensor, which means there's something wrong with the ECU. I checked it 5,000 times. So, Derek told me, because, you know, Derek knows it all.
This is true.
That there's fuses inside of here. And he said, make sure.
Do you think it's popped?
It could have. Because we did have a backfeeding issue in the beginning. Here. Take it apart.
I can't see. My eyes are still the other way.
All right. Oh, they don't. Where's the fuses? Pain in the ass. What a pain in the ass. Unless these are the fuses. Oh, it is the fuses. It's these
those little ones.
Yeah, it's these little ones. So right here. Oh, look, there's a little SD card in here. Oh, put that back in there. Well, honestly, I've never seen fuses like this before in my life. Probably because I don't mess with electronics a lot. But first time for everything. So we're learning this together. So these are very, very small fuses, and these two are for the 5-volt references because there's so many of them. So this is for like the first 5 and like 5 to 10, whatever. These are obviously the possible blown fuses, and then this is a good fuse. Let's check them out. All right, so we're gonna check continuity on these things. So when there's like a complete circuit or a complete line, it buzzes. So these are the old fuses. That buzzes, that one doesn't, and this one does. So we know this fuse is bad. So I did have a blown fuse. Cool. I'm so happy these are blown because that explains so much.
There you go. Easy answer.
If this works, this should change. Oh, that's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. That's the last of it. Jake, that's the last of it. I gotta shine some light to the booth mobile if you guys remember the hatch. Used to be a lot of different colors. Rye's been motivated to paint it, and he thought the best idea would be to paint strip it, not sand it. Rye, do you regret it or what?
Airplane stripper is the way to go. Look at this.
Look at this thing. Do you regret it?
It's a lot more work than I thought.
You found out the car used to be pink at least. Oh, right. You got so much more work to do.
Nah, I'm priming it tonight.
Yeah, good luck. I mean, I guess it looks better than it did before.
No more stripes.
No more stripes.
Just clear that. That's a new look.
Oh my
Yeah?
god.
Should we rust it out?
Not rust it, but just rock like in progress look. That's the new shot.
In progress look. All right, guys. Well, it's ready to go for a test drive after I put the intake back on. Maybe. So I have to rig up the throttle cable, and I can go for a test drive, kind of. But I may or may not have lost the cap to my coolant reservoir, and I do this all the time. And Steph's here, and she's been helping me look for it. How long has it been?
It's been at least 20 minutes.
Everything I own needs to be spray painted like neon yellow because I can't find anything.
Everything's black.
I'll see you guys soon after I find this damn cap. All right, well, RJ got himself a buffet, but where was it, RJ? I swear I looked there, okay?
We were going crazy looking for that thing.
Whatever. All right, so it's been getting late, so I've been trying to rush, but the E36 is officially all like tidied up. The tire pressure's there, lug nuts are tight, hood is officially latched, ECU is in a safe location. It is together for the first time in probably, what, 3 months?
Radiator cap is on.
Radiator cap is officially on. I don't know if the coolant is blood yet, but I'll keep an eye on the gauge. My stance is a little whack right now. I gotta fix it. I gotta actually fit these wheels, but that's a whole process. I'm super, super nervous. I know the throttle response right now is a little trash. I gotta play with the throttle enrichment, but I just want to see this thing put across parking lot. That's it. I just want that for myself, and it should do it. I try and pull it out now?
Let's do it.
Dude, I'm so nervous. Yeah, it definitely has way too much fuel in it.
Yeah, you can smell it.
It's not horrible. All right, I think I might just go around the parking lot.
All right, go for it.
Oh boy, there's way too much fuel in this thing.
What does that mean?
The AFRs are ridiculous. Hey, it's moving underneath its own power. I think these injectors are way larger than I was told, because I keep scaling the injector size up and it helps every single time. And right now my computer thinks I have 50-pound injectors when I was told they were 42-pound.
That's strange.
All right, well, we officially just drove the damn thing. I'm gonna play with the fuel settings and then we're gonna go from there. See you guys soon. I was having an issue where as soon as I kind of broke vacuum pressure, the car would die. And I keep scaling the injectors and it's insane because the car was just running so rich. Well, that works. So the way of the fuel table is on tuning softwares is, at least in map sensors, called VE. Now VE is volumetric efficiency. So the number you see on the table right here isn't like a numerical amount for fuel. It was calculated by the ECU, knowing how big your engine is, how much air is coming in, and how big your injectors are. And so if they're scaled wrong, the numbers won't make sense. So all these were 42-pound injectors, and I scaled them all the way up to 70 pounds. And now the numbers are starting to make sense. So that's crazy. Come on, baby. Ah, you bitch.
Are you feeling it out or are you looking at these numbers?
What is happening? Why is you doing this to me? Huh. It's weird. Once I'm under any type of load, it leans out. Under no load, it's fine, but under any type of load, it leans out really bad. The injector size might be right, but it's just doing some weird enrichment at idle, I think. I think that would explain a lot more than having the wrong injectors. All right, so I hate to admit, but I honestly think the car's just been misfiring because it makes 100% sense. It's idling really rich for what it should be, and then we take off, and then it's like power, no power, power, no power, lean, rich, and I mean, and it revs slow, and everything a misfire would do. I hate to admit it, I'm really embarrassed, but the motor is so smooth that I couldn't. Could you tell it was misfiring? No, it was. My
car's misfiring.
But like on a 4-cylinder, when it misfires, you could feel it. Like
Yeah.
your car's shaking and you have no power. This, I just drove it back and I held a quarter throttle and it picked up out of nowhere. Remember that stuff?
Yeah, it was
we didn't
hard.
film it, but it pulled and it pulled really good.
That's
so
RJ, he was scared.
I gotta figure out why it's misfiring now at randomness. So I just did the typical unplug each coil pack and see if the car runs any different type of misfire tests to kind of eliminate which cylinder it is, if there's one cylinder having an issue or not. And it seems like it isn't specific to one cylinder, which means they could all be randomly breaking up. So it could just be a problem with the crank positioning sensor, or it could be a problem with the coil pack drivers, those like little 3-prong things I had to wire in for the Mega Squirt. I don't know. I guess we're just gonna start poking things and trying to figure it out. Well, it's extremely low on E with like really bad gas in it, so I don't think that's it, but like definitely it's not helping.
Shake it.
Oh, that sounds sick. That's cool. What we determined is that the misfire is basically it's not localized to one cylinder. It's kind of intermittent to all. But I'm assuming all the plugs are gonna be smoked, just because they're probably all misfiring. But I'm gonna check to make sure if any plug is worse than the other, so you can hopefully determine it being that one cylinder. But most likely, I ruined my coil pack drivers. Probably it. This is honestly another reason why I think it's ignition issue and not a fuel issue. If it was fuel, most likely they wouldn't be this bad. That's really bad. So I know it's a little OD at this point, but I've seen it happen on other cars, and while these are apart, I might as well do it. It's not going to hurt it. I've seen some cars actually arc on their stem against the head, causing intermittent misfires, and these don't look too bad, so I don't really think that's it, but like I said, it takes an extra second for a peace of mind. The likelihood that did anything, very slim. I don't know, doesn't really sound any better. RJ, would you at least consider it its first test drive? So it was.
I would say it's a test drive.
Yeah, it was its first test drive. It
Wasn't its first rip.
a rip. Yeah, that was definitely not successful. But you know what? We have something to look forward to. We'll figure it out tomorrow. We definitely, right, RJ? We'll figure it out. Not too worried about it. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. RJ.
Have a wonderful evening.
Later.